Welcome to Stir Crazy Art Classes with Gerald Savine, lesson number 20. We're going back now to doing the painting of the fruit and the book. So what I'll do next is, you might have noticed I've been more or less leaving the fruit till last because that's the main subject. So I'm going to paint the book now to start off with. I don't know whether you can see this, but it's got quite a sort of, it is a very old book. It's quite sort of ready cover to it. And fortunately it matches up to some extent with the alizarin crimson which we're using on the fruit. Now I'm putting a bit of the burnt umber paint in with it, so it just darkens it down. It's got a bit dirty. It's an old book, so I'm just going to again catch a little bit redder. I think here we can add a bit more red into that. It's gone a bit too brown. That's better. And then part of the way as it gets towards the spine, colour changes. But again, I'm going in here, and I'm just going to have to come down here carefully. Get a nice line. But I'm going to pull away straight away. Otherwise you could end up with a line showing that we don't want to happen. So again here, the reality again is actually quite dark. A bit darker than I've done here, but that doesn't matter. Again, it goes carefully round, and again we'll just pull the colour away. That keeps the flatness to it. We don't want to land up with a line as such showing up there. You don't get too fussed about it, but then that's got to come through to there. And do the same the other side. So again, it's a little bit lighter here, so we can perhaps thin the paint down a little bit more. There we go. And I'm just going to come round, carefully paint. Now I'm resting my hand on the paper, on the pad, so it just steadies my hand as I'm painting up against the. Be careful here. Remember, I've got a bit of change here, a bit more. I'll say change of colour, coming up round there, and again just pulling the colour across. So again, as I always say, how the paint shows up, the direction that whatever you're painting is going in. So we're going to come down there, but again pulling the colour away straight away. Don't let it dry out. Work the colour up to that. I've got that done. Just tidy there again. Now then, here it's a sort of a dirty green colour. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put because the green is very different to the reds and the browns we've been using. I'm using a different pot of water for this. I'm mixing up that green, sap green, and I'm going to pinch a little bit of burnt umber. Just to darken it down, because it's an old book, so the colours are not nice and crisp and things, but it probably would have been when it's brand new. Could actually do with a bit more pigment in that, I think. It's got a bit too thin. It's all right over this side, but so again we can bring in a bit more pigment around underneath there. You'll notice, of course, that if you see it here, there's a shadow. We'll have to go back into the red there as well in a minute, and put a bit more pigment in to make it darker there. So again, working quite quickly. A bit too thin or too dark. Colour's changed a bit there. I'm afraid I put a bit more brown in. A bit more green in. There we go. And again, you can sort of work on these things as you're doing your painting. You can add a bit here and add a bit there and take a bit out. And again here, because of the lights coming from the left, sorry, from your right, but the left of the painting, this a bit lighter here. Just line it up with that, so we've got that happening. So what we need to do now also is just to make it a little bit darker under here. So I'm just going to bring in a bit more pigment, a bit more of the brown into there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same, revisit the red top, and I'm going to make that slightly a bit more burnt umber into that. So again, we've got the shadow from the dish on the book. Alright, so just sort of, and you don't have it this side because it's the light's on that side. You can make it a bit darker if you like as well. So just see how it's beginning to look. Now then, got this difficult colour. It's a bit sort of a greeny colour, but it's also quite brown, isn't it? So again here I'm going to mix up, and I'll have a little bit more green in the dish, I'm afraid, as quick as I can. I'm hoping to begin to get the fruit done on this session. We'll have to wait and see. I want to try and avoid doing too many sessions each time. Now again here, I'm going to pull the colour down. Now it's a bit browner there, doesn't it? Again, that's just due to old age. Sounds like me, doesn't it? A bit browner with old age. But again, look, I'm pulling the colour down. Because it's got worn, a bit tatty, it's lost its nice colouring that it would have had originally. And again, I'm just doing it, I'm not getting too fussed. It's exactly the same as the actual book we can see in the picture, in the original. But again, it's coming down, leaving a gap in between, and I'm sure again we'll deal with that later. Working nice and quickly. I won't get this done. I'm going to say a bit more, take a bit more time on this. Again here, because the book is curving round, the thickness of the book, and be a bit darker, a bit more pigment there. Give a feeling of it curving round. See how quickly you can do this. I'll say normally this would take a long time, a lot longer to do, and we've got time to play around with. And that's the delights of what we're doing. Again, just being careful, but again, see that I'm pulling the colour. Now the angle's changed. A bit more here, a little bit more there. There we go. Oops, that's a bit thick, a bit harder. So we can now wash this, thin this down a bit on the paper. Darker there. Get it thinner. Pull the colour here so we can use the colour from here. And we can just thin that down. We just pull this down. I'm just washing the brush out a little bit. We take some of the colour off here. Just get a bit of highlighting effect. Again, the book itself is, say, because of its age, it's all very rough. On the edges. It's a total aside and irrelevant, but it's full of lovely drawings, these books, and old photographs of animals and things, and how to help vets to learn, or learn students how to become vets. And so inherited from a neighbour some years ago. In fact, a long time ago when I was a kid. Was a long time ago. And as you gather, I prattle away as I'm doing these things. But, again, I'm just pulling the colour down at an angle. I'll run out of paint before I get too far. So just mixing up a bit more. Tut tut. There we go. Again, it does, because of the way the wear has been on the book itself over the years, the colours do change. But again, you can just sort of get a feeling of how it's sort of curving round. Because of being hasty, you can take more time over this and be a bit more subtle with what you're doing. But you've got darker lines there, so what we can do is we're going to use the brown, and I'm going to bring a bit of ultramarine in. And brown, burnt umber and ultramarine make a very good, would you believe it, a very good black. Now I'm going to add that, or add in the green to that, so we still pick up the fact that there's a bit of green. And I'm just going to paint in a darker line around here, just to, and again, I'm sorry, it's a bit crude. It's not a, if you ever look at my website and you see the paintings that I do, they tend to be rather detailed and more carefully done. But we don't have time. I expect you to spend a bit more time. Take your time. You haven't got the rush that I've got to get this done. And I can see I should get a signal very shortly, I think, to say that it's time to stop what I'm doing. Not quite sure how much time I've got left at the moment, but my dear Janice will let me know.
3.5 minutes.
There we go, heard that, 3.5 minutes, that's good, give me a bit more time. And sorry this is a bit, well it is crude, I do apologise for this, it's not as nice as I would like it to be, but normally it's something like this, if I was doing a workshop, which I used to do a lot of at one time, this would have been done over a whole day and not just a few 15 minute section pieces. There's a bit of a character into the roughness of the book there, I don't know if you can see that over there. And then also just a bit of lining across here as well, just to take the edge of the book. Again, just under there as well, just to, it's rather a can't see it quite. It's quite, because the colouring goes quite to brown, the green. So I'm going to be in trouble here, I think. So I'm just going to paint this across here a little bit, very, very quickly. You can say more time. I'm just going to wash the brush out, get the worst of the water off, pull some of that colour up. There's a bit more character to it. But hopefully that will give you some idea of how to work. Again, the way, this sort of way of working applies to whatever you're painting. You can really get things going. Just line through there. So I'll leave that like that for now. I don't know how much time we've got left at the moment. We should really be looking at doing the fruit. Oh, I know. I'm just going to put a bit of patterning in to into here, because again it's a bit more, makes it a little bit more interesting. There's a slightly different colour running around there. And it's also on the outside as well. And also there's a bit of this colouring running there. But we've also got just inside there, and again if I've got time to do this, there are some stalks, and dare I say there are some, right, that's it, time's up. Bye for now. We'll see you again to do number 2.